Thank you very much. And how cool would that be for Tenerife? Couple of cans of San Pellegrino. Hello and welcome back to the channel. You joined me from my bike lockup at my apartment, and I was actually meant to be 2 days away with Monika going to Devon, but as all of us Brits know, this weather this summer has been beyond atrocious. You cannot plan anything. The amount of consistent days of nice weather we've had, 5 days at a time of genuinely nice weather, it may have happened twice. Honestly, one of the last times I remember was the Isle of Wight trip. But the forecast looks bad for the next few weeks, so we're looking to push back the trip 1 week. But before we do, I want to get on a tent onto the back of my pannier rail just to make sure it fits. And this is a tent that has generated a huge amount of interest online. I know they're currently sold out, but they're about to get more stock in. And there's just a huge amount of interest in this tent for what it represents. And what it is this, the Wingman of the Road. What it represents is absolute freedom on your motorbike. It is a motorcycle specific tent. And not just that, this fairly chunky roll of, what do you call it, canvas with newly strengthened metal brackets. That's not just a tent. It's a tent, a mattress, and a sleeping bag, all rolled into one. So that is all you need for absolute freedom on your motorbike. So I'm going to put it onto the rear rack. I'll show you the setup, and I hope it works. I've never tried it. I'm not sure if you'll ever have seen the Bonneville with the rear rack. So this rear rack is a Hepco and Becker rear rack. Attaches here to the shock. I've still got the Hepco and Becker panniers, which attach perfectly onto this. Handle rails for Monika. I'll take this off and instead put the tent on it. But that's pretty much how the full touring setup will look. And of course, I'll have the panniers on here. And this will make for a Harley-esque riding experience. It'll be so comfortable. It's a big tent. Not 100% sure it will fit, but if it doesn't, riding two up with a tent, we have absolutely no other choice. So let me see if I can get the tripod set up and show you me getting this set up. I've got another thing to set up, because when I got the Wingman of the Road very kindly sent me an email and said, Freddie, the best way to secure your tent to your motorbike is a rock strap. And I had no idea what a rock strap is, so I Googled it, then replied to them acting like I knew what it was. But this is a rock strap. They're basically, let me try and show you that. Okay, so it's in theory a very simple setup, but it's just a much, much easier way to attach a tent or some kind of baggage to the back of your bike than a normal, for example, bungee cord, and it looks much more secure. It's designed for motorcycles. I posted on Instagram, just got some rock straps. These look really good. And then I had a huge amount of people saying, Freddie, we've been using these for years. We swear by them. How have you never heard of them? So these are well known within the biking industry and within fellow bikers, and they rave about them. I've even seen a fellow biker from the USA. He said these are so tough that when his Indian Scout ran out of fuel, he got a Harley to tow him. Wrapped one of these around the Harley, attached it to his Indian Scout, and it towed him to a fuel station. And it is true, because I watched the video of it. So these things are tough. Okay, this is now the pannier. This is now the rear rack without the Hepco and Becker, what do you call that? Mini pannier, mini luggage, which I find really useful when touring, so it's perfect for a bike chain. That's gone. Standard rack, and I'm hoping this will be the perfect mounting point for the tent. Otherwise, we're in a bit of trouble. Okay, fits well. And importantly, it's no wider than my handlebars, so lane split and getting through traffic won't be an issue. That's a dream, actually. That's cut. One more important bit to mention. Wingman of the Road do two sizes, a one-person tent and a two-person tent. This, couldn't find the name for a second. This is the Goose. The Goose is the one-person tent, and the bigger one is the Toucan. I think I've been calling it for the past 2 weeks the Pelican, which is completely ridiculous. Been referring to it as the Pelican, but it is actually the Toucan. So Goose single person, Pelican, Toucan. Toucan is the two-person tent, Toucan two-person tent, and the Goose is the one-person tent. I wasn't sure what to go for, and this, just to give you some reference, this is how the single-person Goose tent looks like on the Bonneville. I think it looks absolutely perfect. I'm actually glad I went for the Goose as opposed to the two-person Toucan. A little bit smaller, and on the Bonneville, which isn't the biggest bike, it just fits well size-wise. And I'll be completely honest, Monika has zero interest in camping, so the camping side will be all me. So I think I've made the right decision going for the Goose, of course. I'll tell you it's the right decision when I've actually camped for a night in it, but it looks perfect. We're set to go. We just put the Hepco and Becker panniers on there and we're all good to go. Absolutely no more preparation needed. Where we're going in Dartmoor, one of the very rare places in England, possibly the only place where you're actually legally allowed to free camp. Everywhere else in England, the problem is everyone owns every square inch of England, so you're not really allowed to camp anywhere, but Dartmoor is an exception. But that's it, good to go, take that off upstairs. Adventure awaits. I was checking yesterday all of the paperwork for both of the vehicles, the Fiat and the Bonneville, both of their MOTs. Well, the Bonneville's runs out in October, I think, and the Fiat's in November, so I've got to get them both MOT'd, which is the annual check that you have to do before we go to Tenerife. Otherwise, once I'm there, well, you can't MOT, it won't be legal because you'd have to register it as a Spanish car. So, Bonneville booked in for this morning, Fiat in for next week, so I'm going to take the Bonneville down. It's always 50-50 with me. I think it will pass, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. If it fails, it will create a significant amount of extra hassle for me when I'm trying to get everything ready, pack everything up, so I really, really hope it passes. I hope the garage is okay. I'm not 100% familiar with this one, but they did have good availability, so fingers crossed it all goes well. What do you think? Just, do you have a specific time for it?
Yeah, we're going to do it now, so come back about 10 o'clock.
Thanks a lot, cheers. Thank you, will do. Bonneville dropped off. Actually, it's a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Dropped it off at 9:30 in the morning and they said come back at 10 o'clock. Friendly bunch, very nice. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, because I always get really scared with the MOTs. Judgment time. Very scared now. Just spoken to the guys inside, and this little Honda Cub, I think it's about 1993 model, this is for sale, £1,800, last owner for about 20 years, and he's only selling it due to the ULEZ, the ultra low emission zone in London. I've wanted one of these for quite a long time now, and that's quite tempting. I love that little rack on the back, perfect commuter bike. I'd take that to Tenerife, put that on the back of the trailer. That should be just about on the weight limit. God, they're so good, these Hondas. That's 48,000 miles on the clock. And I love this patina on there, just from all that use. I think the guy used to actually commute into London on it, and he did not want to sell it. I'm tempted. What do you think, Monika?
I think we should buy it.
How cool would that be for Tenerife?
Yeah, 100%.
And an old tax disc on there as well. Just got my helmet from the car, going back to pick up the Bonneville. I am delighted it passed. I'm just always so happy. I always fear the worst with MOTs, so I'm delighted it passed. But that Cub, that's seriously tempting. Monika actually said she likes it so much, possibly even more than me, that it's the kind of bike that would make her want to pass a motorcycle test. It's just so simple and easy going, and you can just imagine riding around, well, London, Tenerife, wherever. It's just motorcycling simplicity in its purest form. I love everything it represents. I do really want it, but my God, the prices have shot up. I remember 8 years ago when the Honda Cubs were 500 quid. Could barely give them away, and now the cheapest ones online, you know, that's got 49,000 miles, £1,800. That is the market rate. That's where they are. They're so desirable now. They're genuinely going up in value. If you want an investment bike, these Honda Cubs are superb. So I've got to seriously consider it. The maximum towing weight of the Fiat 500 is 300 kilograms. And I know that the Bonneville is about 220 kilos. So I'll be pushing the absolute limit of the Fiat 500. But, well, what's the problem with pushing it to the limit, I guess? Because the Bonneville's done so well, celebratory jet wash. came up with a great idea. When we were looking, or when I was putting on the Wingman of the Road, she said, hold on, look what we've dug out while emptying the flat. And then she thought, well, while we're in the Canaries, going on day trips, road trips, up the volcano and stuff, and in England, of course, going to the beautiful Kent countryside and places, can we fit this on the rear Hepco and Becker rack? So we've got everything in there. Just picture the scene, nice bit of food. Onto the rack, rock straps, which are super easy. Attach, tighten. Next rock strap here. See, they're just attached with this buckle. It's so easy. Attach, pull tight, pull tight. That's not going anywhere. How good is that? It's secure, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Maybe a pannier just for a few extras if you need it. Day trip. Adventures into the countryside. Picnic. I was about to say a couple of bottles of wine, maybe that's not responsible. Couple of cans of San Pellegrino, nice little packed lunch. I mean, that is, look at that, it doesn't get more gloriously summer vibes into the British countryside or wherever you may be than that. I love it. We're going to be doing that, 100%. I've got some great plans for this. We need to use this at least once, hopefully, when we're in England, go into the country and use this, and when we're on the Canaries, I know a few people don't like the idea of jet washing a motorbike, but I do like doing it at least to the bottom half of the bike to get all the grime off, and then I just spray some WD-40 or multi-purpose spray, and I spray it all over the bike, coat the bike in it, and then just give it a nice little polish, wipe off with a cloth. I do that in the summer, but in the winter I do it once a week, and I've never had any new rust forming on any of my bikes, and I ride through the winter with all the salts, and this stuff it's magic. It's about £4 a can. You can get the really special stuff for 15 a can, and that's significantly better. But even this basic stuff, spray the whole bike, and it's superb at protecting it from rust and the elements. Back at home, and I've just received some single malt smokehead whiskey. I've done an Instagram story on how you drink this, and I almost set the flat alight. This time for YouTube, I'm going to do it in one take. So, they've got an instruction manual on what to do, but basically, every time we're told no, an obstacle is placed in our way, but nothing big happens when you stay small. So basically what they've got in here, a whole load of different negative quotes. And you can choose the quote that you rip out of this kind of oak smoked scented book. Rip it out. Let's just say I rip this out. Quitting is for losers. Rip it out. Crunch it up. Got to do this in one take. Get the matches. Monika, make sure you film this if it goes right or wrong. Light. Burn the page with the negative quote. Glass over the top to smoke the glass, and you wait. You wait until it's all steamed up. Get that lovely oak smoked. Open the whiskey bottle. Ice. That looks like the smoke and the fire's stopped. Turn it over. Ice in. Whiskey. Just to make sure. Oh, that's good. Okay. Woo! Update. A few people have asked, how can you go to Spain when you're a British citizen? Because for all you non-Brits and you non-Europeans, we in Britain left the EU. meaning there's no more freedom of movement. So in the past, Brits and all Europeans, you can travel, work, go freely everywhere. It's seamless and easy, just like you're living in the UK. So you can go to Spain, relocate, live, no paperwork needed, easy. Now we've left the EU, you can only go for 3 months and you have to come back to the UK for 3 months. And the reason I can go to Spain for 6 months is because I'm one of the very, very lucky people, and my friends all hate me for this. But my dad was born in Omagh, Northern Ireland. And because he was born in Northern Ireland, with the issues that Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland have had in the past, there was a very special case for Ireland, whereby the residents and the Irish nationals can have both a British passport, or at least the Northern Irish can. The Northern Irish can have a British passport and a Republic of Ireland passport. So I've got this Great British passport, and I've got this golden passport for the Brits, meaning that I am legally and freely allowed to act as an EU citizen, put that to one side, and then go back to acting as a British, just check I'm not showing too many important details, act as a British citizen. And that is a really great feeling of freedom. So that's why we can go. But 2 days ago, Monika and I, oh God, that's good. 2 days ago, Monika and I put the deposit down and paid for the property in Tenerife. So we've got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-balcony property in Tenerife, which is €1,050 or £893. And that's including all bills. So even though Tenerife is one of the most appealing places to go in the whole of the EU, and it's known as the land of eternal spring because even in the winter rarely gets below 23, 24 degrees, it's still perfectly affordable. So everything's in place. You can see this flat is getting emptier and emptier. Tenerife's all booked up. Just need to sort out the ferries because we'll need 2 ferries. One from England to France, drive down through France, through Spain, and then get a 35 or so hour ferry from southern Spain all the way down to Tenerife. But we're nearly there and everything's looking good, and we should be in place to head off on about the 10th of September or 12th of September. But that's it, we'll wrap it up here. I'll maybe have one more little treat of this. Thank you so much for watching. Please do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, one other thing actually, a question. What are your thoughts on the Honda Cub? Is it universally loved, or do you have any other feelings? And also, do you have any experience owning it? Did you find it reliable, and is it an enjoyable ownership experience? I'd love to hear your thoughts because I'm seriously considering it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.